Hello everyone, I'm Chumi Sharkar. Today I'm discussing the Federal Communication Commission FCC and wireless spectrum actions. The if, Federal Communication Commission's FCC has hired you as a consultant to design an auction to sell wireless spectrum rights. The FCC indicates that its goal of using auction to sell these spectrum rights is to generate revenue. Since most bidders are large telecommunications companies, you rationally surmise that all participants in the auction are risk natural. When designing an auction for the FCC to sell wireless spectrum rights, there are several auction types that could be considered. First prize, second prize, English or Dutch. The optimal auction type will depend on the specific characteristics of the bidders and the item being auctioned. In this case, the FCC has indicates that all bidders value the spectrum rights identically, but have different estimates of the true underlying value of the spectrum rights. The scenario leads itself well to the use of second prize sealed bid auction. Second prize sealed bid auctions. A second prize sealed bid auction is a type of auction where bidders submit sealed bids, and the highest bidder wins the item but pays the price of second highest bids. Victory 1961. This auction type is also known as Vickrey actions, named after the economist William Vickrey, who first proposed it. The key advantage of second prize sealed bid auction in this scenario is that is incentivizes bidders to bid their true valuation of the items. In a first prize sealed bid auctions, bidder have an incentive to shed their bids below their true valuation in order to pay a lower price if they win. But in a second prize auction, the winner's payment is determined by the second highest bid. So the optimal strategy for each bidders is to simply bid their true valuation. Vickrey 1961. When all bidders have the same valuation of the items but different estimates of the valuation, a second prize auctions will result in the items being allocated to bidders with the highest estimate, which is the efficient outcomes. Milgrom and Weber, 1982. The winners will pay a price that is equal to the second highest estimate, which is close to the true valuation. In constructs, our auction formats like first prize of or English auction would not necessarily result in the efficient allocation in this scenario. In a first prize auction, bidders would shed their bids below their true valuation, potentially leading to an inefficient allocation. And in an English auction, the bidding wares could drive the price up above the true valuation. Milgrom and Weber 1982. Revenue consideration. While the primary goal of FCC in this auction is to generate revenue, the second prize auction format is still likely to be the best approach. Milestone 1981 showed that is symmetric auction will risk natural bidders. The second prize auction maximizes the seller's expected revenue. This is because the winner's payment is determined by the second highest bids a bid, which an average will be close to the true valuation of the items. Additionally, the revenue maximize reserve price in a second prize auction is equal to the seller's own valuation of the items. Marson 1981. In this case, the FCC's valuation of the spectrum rights is likely to be quite low compared to the bidder's valuations. So, setting a reserve price close to the FCC's valuation would not significantly impact the revenue generated. Other auction consideration. There are few other factors to consider while when designing the auctions. Bidder collation. One potential concern with a second prize auction is the risk of bidder collation. If the bidders can coordinate of their bids, they may be able to keep the price down. To mitigate this, FCC could consider implementing anti-collusion rules and closely monitoring bidders' behavior. Crampton and Screwers 2000. Information disclosure. Another key design choice is how much information to disclose to bidders about the auction process and other bids. Providing more information can help bidders make more informed decisions, but it also increases the risk of collision. The FCC will not to strike a balance between transparency and preventing collision. Auction format. While a second prize shielded bid auction is the recommended format, the FCC could also consider as a dynamic auction format like an ascending English auction. This could provide additional price discovery and help bidders gain a better understanding of the true value of spectrum rights. Milgram 2024. Practical consideration. In addition to the theoretical consideration, there are also practical factors that FCC should take into account when designing the auctions. Bidders' participations. The FCC will not to ensure that there is sufficient competition among bidders to achieve the desired revenue outcomes. This may involve outreach to potential bidders, setting appropriate eligibility requirements, and considering the timing and duration of the auction. Crampton 1995. And technological consideration. The auction will need to be designed with the appropriate technological infrastructure to facilitate the bidding process, handle bid submission, and ensure the integrity of the auction. This may involve developing custom software or leveraging existing auction platform. Milgram 2024. Regulatory oversight. The FCC will not to consider coordinate with relevant regulatory bodies and policymaker to ensure that the auction design and outcomes align with border policy objects. This may involve obtaining necessary approval, addressing any legal or regulatory constraints, and ensuring transparent and accountable decision making. Crampton and Switchworth 2000. Implementation challenge. Implementing a large scale spectrum auction can be a complex and challenging undertaking. The FCC will not to uh, careful plan and execute the auction process, including activating such a bidder's registration and bid submission, bid processing, winner determination, and payment collection. Effective project management and coordination will be crucial to success of auctions. Milgram 2024. And conclusion. In conclusion, the FCC should use a second price shielded bid auction to sell the wireless spectrum rights. The auction format will incentivize bidders to bid their true valuation, resulting in an efficient allocation of the spectrum. It will also generate substantial revenue for the FCC, as the winner will pay a price close to the true underlying value of the spectrum rights. The FCC should also carefully consider other auction design choice such as implementing anti-collision rules, determining the optimal level of information disclosure, and potentially incorporating dynamic auction elements. Additionally, the FCC will need to address particular consideration related to bidders' participation, technological infrastructure, regulatory oversights, and implementation challenges. By thoughtfully designed and incursions the auction, the FCC can achieve its goal of generating revenue while promoting the efficient use of the wireless spectrum. The successful implementation of the auction will also provide valuable insights and lessons for future spectrum actions and other complex market based allocation mechanisms. Thank you, and this is my reference. Thank you.